My video on tax. So in our previous lesson, we learned about tip, and tip was money paid for a service. And to calculate the tip, we set up a proportion where we had an X in the part, and then we had part over whole equals percent over 100. So to calculate the tip, we were always looking for the part. And then, of course, to find the total tip, then we would add the tip to the bill. So that brings us today to tax. And tax is very similar to tip. The only difference is tax is the amount of money paid to the government for services. Okay? So tip is being paid to a person for a service, and then tax is being paid to the government. So to calculate them, they're exactly the same. It's just the only difference is tip and tax have a different meaning. They're paid to different people. So to find the total bill, we have to find the tax first and then add the tax to the cost of the bill. So just like before, we have to read the problem. And what is it asking for? Tax or total? So when we do these word problems, that's what we're always going to think about first. Okay, so let's look at number 1. Avery bought a PlayStation 4 game from GameStop for $60. So underline $60. If the tax rate was 6%, underline tax rate was 6%. How much did he pay for the game? So underline that. Now, what is this question asking me to find? The tax or the total? Hopefully you said total because it said how much did he pay for the game. So I want to know the total. And I need to remember to add. So the first thing we're going to do is, if we want to know the total, including the tax, then we need to find the tax. So what is percent always out of? 100. So we're going to put 6 over 100. And we want to find the tax so we can calculate the total. So we're looking for the part, since we're looking for the tax. And the $60 is the whole, because that's how much the game costs. Okay, now we are going to use the cross product. So 100 times x is 100x. And 6 times 60 is 360. We're going to divide both sides by 100. Okay, 100 divided by 100 is a 1 in disguise, and x will equal 3.6. Now, what's wrong with 3.6? Doesn't look like money. So how do I make it look like money? Add a 0. So now, what does the $3.60 represent? Hopefully you said the tax. So we've got to find the total, we've got to add the tax to the cost of the game. So we know that the cost of the game is $60. So we're going to add $3.60. And when I add that together, what do I get? $63.60. So we had an extra step here we had to add because it said how much did he pay for the game, and we know that's asking for the total. Okay, let's look at number 2. Let me change my marker back here. Okay, if the sales tax in Florida was 5.5%, so underline sales tax and 5.5%, how much tax would I pay for a watch that costs $106.50? So what is this question asking me to find? How much tax? So it's just looking for the tax. So the only thing I have to do here is solve a proportion, and I will have my answer. So let's set it up. What's percent out of 100. So put 5.5 over 100 equals, now we're looking for the tax, so we're looking for the part, and that means the cost is the whole. So 106.50 is my whole. Now, we're going to use the cross product, so 100 times x is 100x. And 5.5 times $106.50 is 585 and 75 hundredths. Now, the opposite of multiplication is division, so we're going to divide both sides by 100. 100 divided by 100 is a 1 in disguise. And if I divide that out, I get 5 in 8,575 10,000ths. Now, that does not look like money. And why doesn't that look like money? Because it has more than 2 places after the decimal. So I have to underline the hundredths spot because that's what money is always rounded to. And we underline the hundredths spot and look to the right. If it's 5 or above, I give it a shove. And it is. So I'm going to give the $5.85 a shove to $5.86. So it's $5.86. Now, we just calculated the tax, and let's double check. Is that what we were looking for? That's correct. So $5.86 is my final answer. Okay, let's move on to the last example. Okay, it says, what is the total price, so underline total price, of a $20.75 football, so underline $20.75, if the tax is 6%, so underline tax is 6%. Now, what is this question asking me for, tax or total? And this one's easy, because it says the word total in it, so it's asking for the total. So we have to remember to add once we find what? The tax. So the first thing I'm going to do, since I'm finding the total, is find the tax. So what's percent out of 100? So we're going to put 6 over 100. Since I need to find the tax first, I'm going to put x over $20.75. And once again, 100 times x is 100x. And 6 times 20.75 is 124 and 5/10. Now, the opposite of multiplication is division. So we're going to divide both sides by 100. 100 divided by 100 is a 1 in disguise. So x will equal 1 and 245 thousandths. So, what is the problem with this answer? It has more than 2 places after the decimal. And since we're talking about money, we have to round to the nearest hundredth, so underline the 4 and look to the right. If it's 5 or above, we give it a shove, so is it? It is, so it rounds to $1.25. Now, this number right here represents the tax, but what did the question ask for? The total. So now we have to take $20.75 and add the tax, which is $1.25. And $20.75 plus $1.25 is $22. Okay, now all the problems that we set up, we were finding the tax. And either that was our answer, or we had one extra step and we had to add to find the total. However, the questions that you're going to see in classwork and potentially future homeworks might not always be finding the part. Sometimes I give you the part. And if I give you the part or the tax, then you have to put that on top. And if you put that on top, that means you're looking for the whole or the cost. So just make sure you read the questions carefully, and if you ever see that the tax is X amount of money, make sure you put that on top. Otherwise, then you're looking for X. If it's asking for the tax or asking for the total, then you're looking for the part, and X will go on top. Okay, that concludes our notes on tax. I hope you have a great day.